can't remember the last time that I left the house. I do know I ran out of medication a few days ago, but the apathy I was feeling just kept telling me to just stay in, lock the door, and go back to bed. Not like I could afford it anyway, with no insurance to speak of and barely $10 to my name. I had about 12 different voicemails from Mom asking why I wasn't responding, begging to know that I was still alive, but I couldn't. It wasn't feeling worth it because she wouldn't even believe me anyway. Hell, I'm surprised she hasn't flown over here yet to drag me out. I can hear her now. You know you're better than this, Daisy. Get up. Yeah, great motivation there. It was the voice in my head telling me that I was worthless, that it would be better for me, for everyone, if I just took myself out of the pool. Not like I was contributing much, just a struggling writer who posts horror stories on the internet. Not like it was enough to keep the lights on. Then again, I don't know if anyone would notice if I just stopped paying rent in this shithole high-rise, other than the slumlord that already bled me dry, like a damn vampire. He didn't even come around anymore, and knew that eviction wasn't worth the trouble. Cops didn't give a damn about things out here, and this guy was already on their shit list. Must not have paid his dues to the police union lately. Loud, discordant tones rang from my phone, sitting on the charger beside my bed. I don't even know why I bothered to keep it charged other than doom scrolling anyway. Not like anything was looking up in this world recently. Figured it was just another silver alert, some old dementia patient taking the keys when they shouldn't. My grandpa made it all the way to Mexico like that one time. Unlike his decaying brain though, mine found the idea of being outside fucking terrifying. Just the slightest hint of stepping out of my apartment was dread-inducing, with the insane amount of things that could go wrong at every moment. Hell, just going to the grocery store can get you shot these days. Why risk it? Not the point, Daisy. Check your damn phone. The sleep in my eyes wasn't leaving, taking every chance when I tried to blink it away, desperate to put me back under a dreamy spell. My hand darted out, limbs heavy, still not awake, and pulled my phone to my face. It wasn't even dark out, despite the blackout curtains making it look like a dreadful night. Now the phone read 2:37 p.m. with the alert notification in full right below. Emergency nationwide alert. All persons, do not under any circumstances look at the sky. Please close all windows, doors, and any other way to view the outside. Please shelter in a place until the alert has been lifted. If you are not in any area to shelter in place, please carefully move to the nearest building with adequate shelter. Repeat, do not look at the sky under any circumstances. If you or someone near you has made this mistake, immediately administer the following emergency procedures. Restrain the exposed. Rigid, stronger bonds are recommended. Do not attempt to reason with the subject. They will tell you they are unaffected. Terminate the subject through dismemberment or immolation. Use both to be safe. Remain hidden until the alert is lifted. The hell's going on? I mumbled, still half asleep. I'm barely through the message when a call starts coming through from my mom. God, I don't want to speak to her with something like this coming through. I want to think it was just a prank, that some joker hacking the system, or for some kicks like Max Headroom back in the day. I don't know though, so I better at least set Mom at ease. Guess it's the best time to let her know I'm alive. Deep breath, Daisy. Answer the phone. I hit the green button with Mom's voice coming in almost immediately, frantic and screaming. I can barely make out what she's saying.
Daisy! Oh God! Daisy, are you okay? Are you safe? Don't do it. Don't look out, please.
She was tripping over her words and sobbing started to come in between.
Your father. Oh, God, your father.
Mom, what the hell is happening? The sleep is shaking out, with my fear spiking instead. She never sounded like this. Mom is always the tough, no-nonsense type. More like to curse at a problem and beat it into the ground instead of walking away. I barely ever heard the woman cry, more or less utter a word of God without it being Sunday school reverence. Where's Dad? What did he do?
He was outside doing yard work. You know how your dad is. Next thing I know, he's bashing at the door, trying to get in. He's changing. I swear his eyes are gone. He's practically foaming out of the mouth, but like his teeth are just growing or something. They keep getting longer in his mouth and sharper. I don't know what to do. Daisy, what do I do? He's trying to say something, but I can't understand the words.
The words are coming out more forced now. Sobs more pronounced and breaths cut short in fear. Whatever apathy I had about talking to her before was gone, now full of fear that this may be the last time I speak to her. Mom, you need to hide. Go in the bedroom. There's no windows or anything. Grab a phone charger, a knife, whatever you can. Don't look out. Do you understand? Jesus, is that me talking? I haven't had this kind of command in years. Not since I burnt out around my mid-20s. Adrenaline is one hell of a drug. Mom, I need you to confirm. Do you understand me?
Yes,
She stuttered.
Daisy. Winston was out there with him. He's gone.
Shit. Their dog. Stereotypical bulldog name aside, he was a good boy, probably got spooked about what happened with Dad. No, can't talk to her about that right now. Gotta keep the confidence going or she'll break down completely. We'll find him later. He probably just ran off.
No. He's gone. Your father has him. He's making something. Like a statue or something.
She was muttering now. Mom, are you moving? Are you going to hide? I asked again, pressuring her to keep going. I need you to hide in the bathroom. The one connected to your room, okay? Lock every door on the way and keep yourself safe. Please, Mom. Glass shatters as she screams, a gargled sound coming from nearby. There's a brief thud as Mom drops the phone, making it hit the hard wooden floor in their house. I can hear Dad's raspy voice, speaking with something unintelligible through the warped mouth.
He has me! Daisy, please! Talk to him! Help!
Her sobs were punctuated by the scrapes along the floor with periodic thumps, shattering glass tinkling and crunching on the ground.
No, Jeremy, please! I don't want to go out! Come and see.
A hiss was barely audible over her screams. Dad's voice. I could recognize it anywhere, even though the strange noises he was making.
Worship with us. No, please! Stop! No! Don't make me look!
Mom's screams and pleas are cut short. Complete silence on the other line now, before she was suddenly beginning to whisper.
Praise be.
Mom, please! Are you okay? I was screaming into the phone now, holding it to my face on speaker, just to try to get any attention possible. Instead, I only got silence, punctuating by the occasional scream in the distance. Nobody answered my cries. I finally hung up, knowing that nothing would come from me staying on the line. My only thought was that at least I have peace of knowing that my parents are already gone. It's not some mystery that I'll never know the answer to. So at least there's that, I guess. Now I know it's not a prank either. Something really fucked up is going on. Okay, be logical, Daisy. The alert said don't look at the sky. Dad was outside when it happened, so that confirms something there. Restraining them makes sense now, but Destroying them? Good God. That's bad if the government's recommending it. Maybe there's something on the news. As soon as the thought crossed my mind, I found the remote, flipping it to the local news on my hijacked cable. The anchorman was sitting there, worry on his face as voices from behind the camera clamored in a nervous agony. I get it. I got to hear my parents die. How many of these people have loved ones that they have no idea about? How many were there, out of some sense of duty, trying to keep anyone who watched safe?
We have yet to know anything that can cure the result of what's happening. What we have heard from the CDC and the WHO is that this is not an isolated event. This is happening worldwide, with the same symptoms presenting regardless of nationality, race, sex. Nothing is discriminatory about this. If you look at the sky, you are dead. Effective immediately. If someone you know looks at the sky, immediately seek safety and isolate them. Restrain them if possible. This has a 100% infection rate and will not pick and choose who receives its horror. We hope to have a representative from the CDC on soon to speak.
He was stammering, barely keeping it together. The phone ringing nearly made him jump from his chair. The sweat on his brow drenched him in his perfectly groomed hair.
Yes, that seems to be them now. Professor Sigurd? Yes, this is Professor Sigurd. Please, if you're listening, we beg you not to go outside. Don't look out of your windows. Don't do anything that can expose you into the clear view of the sky. Something is changing people.
He was frantic, terror in his voice, but also menace? He knew something the rest of us didn't yet.
Please, if you know someone that is exposed, isolate and restrain them. They will try to expose you as well, in any way possible.
Explains what Dad did, I guess. The professor kept going, though.
The only thing that affected beings want is to reinforce their numbers. They'll do it through any means, even working together. The only thing that we know is that they speak of worship for whatever they see.
He continues on.
I'm sorry, Professor. Can I ask a question?
Anchorman asks, holding a hand up like he was commanding the caller to stop.
What the hell is up there? As of now, we still don't know. We're attempting to see how we can view it without getting any causes of an infection. It's a drawn-out process of trial and error.
He replies, shaking in his voice.
It's currently unknown, though we have tried to see through cameras and other means. Nothing. Nothing comes up. It's like filming a clear sky. So recordings of the phenomena will not cause infection?
Anchorman tries to clarify, a look of relief spreading across the nervous lines drawn taut on his face.
We have only tried digital recordings, but yes, the infection will not take hold when viewed through a recorded video. That said, we have yet to commence live viewings, only trying pre-recorded as of now. Please use discernment and do not try anything that could expose yourself to others.
Still rambling on, he sounds more panicked than before though. Something else creeping in.
I want to stress, and I feel that I cannot do it enough, to stay hidden from any of these things. They are no longer your loved ones. They are no longer the people you know, worked with, or grew up with. They are monsters, plain and simple.
I turned it off. Not like I had planned to go outside anytime soon anyway, so no worries about me looking at the sky. Now just to lock my doors and wait for things to blow over. Mom's screams just keep bursting through my mind though, making me jump as if she was right next to me, shrieking for her life as Dad drags her away. It all felt so real that I just had to try. Picking up the phone, letting out a deep sigh, I called her number. Ringing, the steady, consistent sound as I waited for her was torture. I knew she wasn't going to pick up. So why the hell am I even doing this? It's only going to go to the voicemail. Then I have to hear that sounding happy. The screen changed. Video popping up as she answered as a video call. The ceiling was visible only, their fans spinning lazily above. A spatter of red on one blade still, dripping down steadily. I was holding my breath without realizing it, but whatever air was still in my lungs began hissing out slowly as I whispered, hoping against whatever terror was causing this. Mom, is that you?
Come and see, Daisy. Come and see.
A whisper barely audible over the phone speaker. Suddenly, the screen is hectic. Something picking up the phone and flailing around the room. Moments of chaos pass, finally settling on a face. What remains of a face, at least. It was definitely Mom. Or was at one time. But now the entire upper half of her face was gone. Like, physically there still was space, but the skin where her eyes and nose were once had is just gouged out, scraped raw and exposed the bone and muscle in her skin underneath. Her eyes were totally gone, nose cut off and the base. Yet I could still feel her staring at me.
Come and see.
She whispered again. No. This wasn't right. This was my mother. This wasn't anything of how she would be. There was no reason of any of this.
Come and see, Daisy. Worship with us. The seal is broken.
I didn't even realize I was practically smacking the shit out of my phone screen, shaking hands doing the best I can to hit the damn cancel button for the call. The red button finally connected, the disconnect tone hitting right as Mom began to turn the phone screen away from herself, the open door flashing before me as it began to reveal the open sky. My eyes clenched shut as I tossed the phone away, praying for it to just end. Why did I try that? I should have known. I should have known it was going to be bad. Jesus, what's happened out there? I got my answer almost immediately. A loud explosion shaking the building, causing the windows to rattle. Whatever exploded, it was close. Screams coming from outside that it could even be heard from the 15th floor up here. Another loud boom shook me again, this time feeling even closer. Close enough that the window in my bedroom shattered, bringing the noise outside in. Screams echoing from below. Good God, what is going on out there? I could hear nothing but screams and chaos coming from below. The Atlanta streets in a frenzy, violence ringing through the air. People begging for their lives, pleading from the loved ones, all punctuated by that same goddamn phrase. Come and see. As much as I don't want to, there might be something useful on TV if it's still active. The screen came on, same channel as before, but the anchorman was now replaced by a woman. A small cheer-on at the bottom of the screen, reading out a message. Martial law. All emergency services are suspended. That was fast. It had only been like 15 minutes. Honestly, time is a foreign concept right now. I threw my phone somewhere underneath the couch while I was trying to get away from Mom, so no telling what it was. The television didn't have the time either. Just more warnings coming across the screen. Those same instructions of dismember or kill anyone affected by the thing in the sky.
We're going live to you, Devin, outside.
The new woman on the TV was stammering out, looking away, nervously, like she had no idea what to do.
He's volunteered. Yeah, that's it. He's volunteered to go outside and film the sky for us, live to see what's up there. 1 second. We'll switch to his feed.
The screen cut out to the anchorman from before, now screaming and red-faced as others were dragging him somewhere. He was fighting back, but it was basically useless against the number of those people around him. Whoever was recording was following right alongside, saying nothing while some fucked up snuff film was about to go down. The pale fluorescence around them made the beige hallway seem like the most mundane corridor to hell that there could be. Finally, they reached the heavy metal door, with a group setting Devin down and pushing his back against it. The camera was shoved into his hands, changing POV to show the scared man who was previously recording. Before Devin could beg for mercy, they pushed him backwards through the door, the camera falling with a thud next to him on the ground. They slammed the door shut as Devin's sobbing, bleeding face is captured for the world to see, still lying on the concrete.
Please. Please. I just want to go to my family. Please.
He was choking out between pained breaths.
Liza. Please. Please be safe. Please. I'll be there soon.
Didn't realize it until the screen began to blur. But I was crying now. Jesus, I felt empty for so long that I almost forgot what it was like. Between seeing my own family and hearing what's on the streets. Can't say I didn't feel for the guy. Fucking hell on earth. But he probably has no idea where his family is. I was almost rooting for him. Like I was watching some underdog at the fucking Olympics when he left the camera behind, keeping his head down and running fast. There's a small car parallel right down the street. I'm guessing it's his, because he dug the keys from his pocket before jumping in. Car starting with a jump before it was swarmed on all sides. People. No. The blood all over the faces. Said otherwise. Monsters.
That bastard!
The woman's voice cut in, feed switching back over to the studio news desk. The woman was beating her fist on the table, anger overflowing in her voice.
Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties. We'll be right back.
The screen flashed out, instead taken over by the emergency alert message, same as before. The people down at the station must have lost the battle with their own sanity, turning on each other. Not surprising. It took me a few minutes of searching and grasping blindly under the couch, but I finally found my phone again. There was a missed call from my mom. I'm assuming just to try again for her original goal, but I know what she is now. I'm not risking that. Let's see if there's anything else out there though. Twitter was a complete cesspool as usual, with plenty of conspiracies floating around. Reddit wasn't too much better. Some claiming of it was the end of the world, while others said that it was just some Russian attack. Meanwhile, everything around the world was going through the same exact nightmare. People turning into these monsters outside of the doors. But we're arguing on the internet of who's behind it. Nobody even knew what the hell it was, but all of this bitching and moaning, all of this blaming being thrown around, and nobody can even know because just looking up is enough to turn you into one of these fucks. The worst part is that it doesn't show up in photographs or videos. Not digital anyway. There was talk of trying analog recordings as methods. A lot of discussions about how digital can't capture it because of cybernetic cloaking or some shit like that. There's no telling what the truth is and what's not at this point. But the analog idea got me thinking though. God, where is that damn thing at? I ran to the closet to throw open some boxes, still packed from moving over 2 years ago, desperately searching. Finally, I found it. My old Polaroid that Dad got me for Christmas one year. This thing was vintage and he found it in great condition. I double checked. It was good to go. Grabbing a pack of the photos for it and loaded them in. Camera open, the daylight seeping in from the cracks under the window. I tested it out. The shutter gave a mechanical hiss, bulb flashing bright against the relatively dark room, and a small picture zipped right out of the camera's front. All right, take it out, flop it around for a second, and good. My tiny studio apartment was all there. caught on a grainy film against the backdrop. In a world that wasn't ending, this would have been a cover of a Midwest emo album. Alright, Daisy. Set up. Don't look up. Just put the camera through the window and press the shutter. Don't even think about it. Thinking about it was the only thing that I could do. Okay. Start slow instead. 2 hands nervously reaching from the side of the curtains, turning my head as far as I could, trying to hold the bulky camera steady enough to snap a picture. I didn't even know if I would get a picture. Angle it towards the ground now. Okay. And I could hear the same bulb hiss, that same shutter sound, before I yanked it back in. Looking with fear at the undeveloped photo jutting out from the shot. Pick it up. Give it a wave. Color began to fade in slowly, revealing the lush greens and browns of the trees below it, the Atlanta fall. Around the street, though, was a bloodbath, straight from a horror movie. These things were just grabbing people, horror on their faces as they were dragged from their homes and businesses, all being forced to open their eyes, looking up at the bright, cloudless sky above. Even in the grainy photo, I could still catch the fear in those people's eyes, some seeing their final moments against their will. Others were right in the midst of their own agony, gouging their eyes out with their fingers, scratching any semblance of sight that their face could even see, with whatever they could find. I dropped the photo upon noticing a child with what looked like a sharp broken mirror from a car nearby, readying in front of the left eye. Something I knew wasn't going to be good. Fucking hell. I don't want to do this. Don't even want to try seeing what's in the sky. What if I can't do anything? What if I can do something good though? Maybe contribute something good. Solve a part of this big fucked up mystery of a situation. I can try, right? Deep breaths, Daisy. Deep, deep breaths. Stick the camera through the curtains again. Keep it steady. There weren't any taller buildings than mine nearby. The city's starting to level out into suburbs just outside of my window. This is it. A clear shot of the sky beyond. But will it work? Will it turn me into one of them? Hell, I'm probably dead at this point. Still too scared to leave my apartment at the end of the world. Still worried about eviction or paying bills like there's going to be a tomorrow. My finger clicks the shutter, the same bulb flash and hiss as it imprinted outside onto the film. Deep, slow breaths. Careful not to bump the photo as I bring it in. Make sure to keep looking away from the cracks in the curtains. The world outside is going straight to hell. I got it. I got the photo. Now just to give it a little bit of exposure so it develops. Jesus Christ. I see it. Clear as fucking day. I see it. It's showing up on a Polaroid. This fucking giant. It looks like a man up top, riding a horse like he was heading into battle. The horse was beyond dead though. Skin and nerves flayed, exposing the dark, red, bloody muscle underneath. It was in motion as it was captured on this grainy photo. Legs mid-pumped and propelling itself toward Earth. No telling how big this damn thing was, but it was larger than the sun, threatening to block it out at any moment as it casted the shadow over the world beyond. The rider was even more terrifying than the skinless horse, a charred, barely hanging on body with missing limbs. The foot was barely attached, jostling aside the horse. Meanwhile, the face had its eyes gouged out, much like those below, but looked like its wounds were cauterized. Terrible burns marking the top of his visage as his jaw hung open, one side dangling down further in a lopsided grin. I wanted to throw up. Wanted to scream and open my window wide to show myself it wasn't real. I could hear something nagging at the back of my mind the entire time. A guttural whisper struggling to speak through the destroyed throat. Come and see. Everything else in my head was screaming, telling me not to listen to the damn thing. It sounds so welcoming though. To look to the sky and let my worries go. To see this giant figure on this red horse. No, I can't let go now. I actually did something. I got some kind of answer right. I did something good. Who the fuck am I even asking at this point, other than the voices in my head? At least some were telling me to live better than most days. A scream pierced the air from outside, waking me out of my trance I had been in. Hand reached out to the curtain in front of me to pull it back. Fuck. No, can't do it. I pull my hand back fast, like touching a still hot pan on the stove, dropping the Polaroid in the process. From lower down, the scream quickly died out, joining the now steady whispers, growing loud enough to hear even this high up, all beginning to sink in their strange beckoning. Come and see. They must have gone through most of the street-level buildings already, which means they'll probably move up here soon. I can at least get the picture on the internet. Maybe someone can do something with it. A tweet, a Reddit post, anything. Hell, I'll put it up on TikTok if it gets attention. That could possibly help someone. It only took moments after I snapped a picture of this Polaroid, and not long after that for comments to start flooding in. Stop spreading disinfo for fuck's sake. Cool pic, artist name. Nice Photoshop jackass, but the world is ending. I told you all to repent. Standard run-of-the-mill bullshit, of course, nobody would believe it. Why believe a batshit insanity happening right outside of your window when you could just make up conspiracies on the internet? Jesus Christ, I might jump off of this fucking roof before I even get a chance to look at the damn thing. The flood of the notifications started to make me feel like I just wanted to end it all, knowing that there wasn't going to be any help for anyone in this situation. And when we had to open the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." You've got to be fucking kidding me. As many Sunday school lessons and church sermons I've been dragged to in my life, all the Southern evangelical hellfire that I've heard, there's no fucking way. It fit though. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Except this is the second one. Jesus, what was the first? The pale horse, I think? No idea where he is, but the second was Red Horse, the one that was always brought up in the sermons about the end times, endless war and the bloodshed to really bring everything together. We really, truly are fucked, I guess. A crash from below takes me out of my focus, remembering that millions of Bible verses I had to study back in school, despite how bored I was. Hell, Revelations was one of the few that held my attention for longer than a second. The whole thing was like a metal album on the most hardcore hallucinogens possible. Seeing it firsthand is much more terrifying. It's the end of the world outside. A bloody horse and undead rider are hurtling through the sky, and I feel whelmed. Maybe it's just the lack of the meds and my brain deciding it's not the worst thing that could happen, but the end of worlds feels like a damn relief. Or at least, it did until the noises started going downstairs. Crashes at first, mixed with some of the few sporadic screams left in the streets. Then it started getting even closer though, working from the streets through the thin walls of my building. Screams below my feet. Outside my door. They were finally coming after us. My phone let out a loud siren again. Another alert, coming through during the chaos. I looked down, seeing if there was any message for safety, shelter, an answer for any of this. Come and see. That was it. The emergency alert was just the same goddamn thing. Everything is over. I don't know what to do. I'm safe in here, I think. I don't want to risk opening my door because then they might come in here. No. Stay here. Stay in safety. Don't look outside, Daisy. Come and see. A voice, but not from the streets, or even outside my door. It sounded clear enough to be right in my ear, standing beside me, pushing me to go look. Why not, right? I had already seen the picture. Not like looking at the actual thing could break me much at this point, right? No. Have to figure a way out. Don't think about looking at this damn thing. Just get out. Try to find shelter elsewhere. Basement. There's a basement level that has sewer access, I think. Can't see the sky if I'm underground. Can't get exposed by those things if there's nothing to make me look at it. It's perfect. There's no rhyme or reason to it. My BPD brain just suddenly said, you can get out of here. And next thing I know, I'm just rolling with it. The energy is here, so I'm not letting go. I don't want to die as much as I'm okay with the world ending. A knife. A flashlight that barely works. Wasn't much to choose from this sparse apartment. Have to give myself some credit. At least I wasn't a hoarder. It took all of 5 minutes to get ready. Then 1 minute for all of my hopes to get to the basement to fly right out of the window. Noises grew louder. The screams advancing up the building alongside with something new. The smell of smoke. Shit is all that I can whisper as those things get worse. I brace myself, standing in front of the apartment door, eyes closed tight, praying to whatever God would send this hell to us, that they weren't going to be right outside just yet. Reach for the knob, get ready to turn, fling, and run. Jesus! The knob was hot, and the fire already close outside. There might not be any way down. They're probably trying to flush us out. I grabbed a towel off the bathroom sink, wrapped it around the knob, and pushed it open. Flames were already lighting up the dingy hallway, lights flickering out as fire tore through the electrical systems. Whatever fire safety system they had in this building wasn't doing shit. An alarm ringing without any sort of sprinkler even attempting to help. Smoke was rising high, covering the ceiling before the flames could take it first. Only time was keeping it from burning. Change of plans. Run the other way. The stairs were on the other end of the hall, with only hopes guiding me to see if they would still get me down to the ground level. Bursting through the emergency door was like hitting a wall of heat, fire already rising up from the ground floor under the winding stairs below. No way down, only up. Screams echo behind from the hallway, creatures running through to pull out flaming bodies, tossing them from the windows to see the sky outside. There's nothing that could get me back there. These damn things already swarming this floor in droves to take more for their own. No, this way. This was it. Face them or burn below. Neither are any kind of fun way out. Hell, both are going to be painful, and I would rather not do any form of pain. Come and see. Come and see. One of those things was practically chanting with glee back in the hallway. Maybe it was better if I took myself out, not give them any chance to get a new recruit. The knife in my hand could probably get through my neck easily. Maybe if I stab myself through the ear. My only worry is that they'll get to me before I can actually die. No, the knife wouldn't work worth a damn. The only other option is up there. The stairs above me were clear of any flames, just smoke rising slowly to build up above. There was a roof access door up there. Usually it's where the teenagers would go and smoke without getting caught, but it would make a good place for a final blow. 26 floors. I'm on 15. Better start running. Except before I can get moving, One sees me. It screams, running for me in a frenzy, while it still repeats that same damn verse fragment. Come and see. Come and see. It was in my head at this point, screaming on the outside and inside. There's no escaping it. As soon as it began after me, more joined, running from the rooms and the opposite ends of the hall, pouring toward me in a chorus of the damned. Down below, more ran up the stairs, flames covering their bodies like living funeral pyres, all coming to attend my wake. No time to hesitate now, I guess. Stairs were taken two at a time, for the next 5 floors at least. But that was about when I started to feel how out of shape I was. The adrenaline was going wild, but my lungs were burning. Floors above were no better than mine, with creatures already starting to flush through from the roof down. Wouldn't be surprised if there were people up there when everything went to shit, considering it was easier than smoking on the street for most people. Rising flames kept anyone from escaping though, leaving them to either jump to their deaths or be forced to look outside by the demons. Air was getting scarce up here, as smoke continued rising, making me cough through labored breaths. Floor 22 now. Screams echoing behind me, as the same creature that I saw initially kept following. Maybe it's some sort of hive mind they have, because this thing was forming a whole group to run after me, just a couple of flights of stairs behind. Some of them were on fire, spreading the blaze around the others as they packed in this tight little narrow step. They didn't stop though, all frothing past each other to get me. Keep climbing. Gritting my teeth and taking the deepest breaths I could, it finally got me to the roof access. A huge red door with an emergency light blaring above it. Loud buzzing from the fire alarm, letting everyone know that the world was fucked. The damn thing was already swinging open and closed hard. One outside fighting with hot, flaming air inside to see who would win. Come and see, come and see, come and see, come and see, worship with us, worship with us, worship with us, for the time is near. So many voices down below, on the stairs, all screaming out in the same terrifying rumble. Eyeless faces, smiling up at me in bliss. They weren't afraid, weren't driven by any kind of hunger or goal. They were just happy. It's the same looks I would see on the adults' faces during services. Those same smiles of being assured in their place in the world, even after they stepped out of the building and acted like a whole different person than they claimed. That same fake smile stayed though, making the damaged half of their face look even more terrifying in contrast. The chorus of hell continued as I ran out of time to open the door. They were almost upon me when I finally got up the nerve, walking close and closing my eyes before stepping out. I can visualize the entire roof in my mind after being up here so much. Straight ahead is the AC unit for the building. To my right is another, shorter building that could interrupt my fall. My left is my best destination. Over the side, right down onto the paved street below, still probably teeming with these terrors. I don't have a choice. The voices grew louder behind me, screaming, "Come and see! Come and see!" So loud that it began to make my ears just buzz with static, deafening in its power. Run. Run, Daisy. It's all I can do to keep moving, but I eventually hit the edge, barely stopping myself from falling right over. Stop for a moment. Make sure you can do this. Climb up. Take a stand. Don't face the road though. No, if I see what's below, it's going to make me stop. Don't stop. Can't stop. Have to hit myself before they can hit me. Feet on the concrete ledge. Wind beginning to hit me hard, almost knocking me off my balance into the pavement below. I opened my eyes to see the creatures pouring out of the access door, running behind me. I stepped back, falling backward to face the sky above, losing any stability and giving myself to gravity. Come and see! The voices rang out again. The sun was bright, But in this moment, I fell back to the ground with nothing but a high sky above me. Their words echoed louder. Come and see. And I saw. Finally. I saw, while a loud, thunderous chorus, all combined into one singular voice, ringing out once more. Come and see. I beheld a red horse, galloping through the sky with immense speed. War sat upon him, a massive sword held in frail, decaying hands, slicing the air as more and more on the earth cut each other down, brother killing brother. My last sight before gravity turned me on my head was the horse, his eyes burning bright with the heat of the sun, pure hatred burning in its face. As my body turned, seeing the creature began to make me feel at peace. This was our fate, but was it a bad fate? The Messiah will be here soon, and the horseman is just bringing his good news. War will blight the earth no more, with no humans left to foster aggression toward one another. Now we would all come together and worship, spreading the good news of what's to come by opening the eyes of others. My eyes are open now. No, these eyes cannot yet comprehend the beauty of what I've seen. Now, I'll need to open up my real eyes, the ones underneath these. Then I'll be able to see the true beauty of what's to come. The true salvation all this bloodshed will bring. The coming of the new kingdom built on the bodies of the damned. The last fading thought that I had is the same phrase that brought me terror just moments before. My lips part, pushing words out in a whisper against wind, trying to rip through my throat. 3 final words before the pavement meets my head. The old me's plan working perfectly as I hit the skull first, spilling my brains all over the concrete. My lips still manage to finish the final word though, twitching as the rest of my body falls to the ground. Come and see. This was definitely one of those stories that I actually had to sit here for a minute and realize what I just read. This was a fantastic story, and I never expected that. That was really fucking good. Wow. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that and you would like to see more like this, make sure to let me know down in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, and if you're new to the channel, I'm sorry that this is the first one that you hear, but at the same time, if you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe. This was intense and, yeah. Well, I'm just kind of speechless after I read that. Make sure to check out the links in the description, like Twitter, Instagram, everything like that is down there, including my Gmail if you would like to submit a story. I've got a lot of content and a lot more coming, so just know that. But other than that, stay safe, stay scary, and I'll see you in the next one. Come and